Hey, Hickok 45. It's a rainy, stormy day in Tennessee. Of course, the main storm we're concerned about, the one coming out of Washington, right? That storm, that assault on our freedom, on Second Amendment rights, the Constitution. And that's one reason I'm here, wanted to talk to you. This pretty rifle, right? We don't do politics. We don't do party politics. We pretty much stay away from that. But, if you own a firearm or you plan to own a firearm, you are, to some extent, in politics. You have put your foot into the pool, okay? There are people, millions of people, who don't want you to own that firearm. It's that simple. They really are. So, in one sense, you are in politics if you own a firearm or plan to own one. So, to that extent, we have to address this. I address it every day in my whole life because I've been a gun owner and as you know, very fond of firearms and shooting for a long, long time. But we've got a large audience out there that we greatly appreciate, and we feel some obligation to help keep you informed. Been trying to keep you informed as best I can in terms of what I know. And I don't know anything you don't know necessarily. There's a lot of people on the internet that have been doing a great job for a week or two, really, or longer than that. But in terms of some of the key dates coming up and things that are going on, things we want to mobilize for, it's wonderful to see everybody participating. Democracy in action. I mean, it's wonderful. I think people are more aware today of the Constitution and what it takes to keep that thing going than maybe ever before. I mean, this is a bittersweet experience we're going through in some ways. It's a blessing in disguise, maybe. More people have jumped into the fray. They're involved. They're calling their congressmen, their senators, and they are becoming a part of the process where maybe they haven't before. So a lot of this is good. There's a lot of good stuff coming out of this. But anyway, a lot of people doing great work, and I see it all over the internet, all over YouTube. Small channels, large channels, mid-sized channels, everybody. And some of the smallest channels, some of the people are doing the best job. This is not stuff that we do. John and I don't do this kind of stuff very often. We do shooting videos. That's primarily what we do. And I sit and yak at you occasionally. And I enjoy doing vlogs and my little radio shows, as I call them, that kind of thing. But, getting you revved up and getting you into action on things, that's not my forte, really. But we have a large audience, again, and I feel obligated to do what I can. We've done a couple of videos along these lines in the last week or so, and wanted to touch on a couple of important topics today, and that is January the 19th. That's one of them, right? And the other one is February the 8th, because you are going to be at your state capitol on those 2 days. January 19th is coming right up, and that is all part of Guns Across America. Eric from moregunslesscrime.com pretty much initiated that, and he threw out the spark. And I don't know Eric, but he threw out the spark, and it really caught fire. And you all have been responsible for the forest fire that has taken off from that. So, it's just everybody, doing the job. And you've seen information about it all over the internet for the last week at least, right? And I've been posting about it, and everybody's been posting about it, talking to you about it. So just want to make sure, one last time, my last probably day to get a chance to put my face in front of the video for you, to remind you of that. You need to be at your state capitol on the 19th at noon, okay? And then again on the 18th, I believe that one's at 10 o'clock, but that's down the road a few weeks. You can make sure you're at the right place, the right time on that. But this next Saturday here, the 19th of January, you're going to be at your state capitol, if at all possible. Now that's a part of, there's a couple of things going on January 19th. We had the Gun Appreciation Day. A couple of initiatives, the Gun Appreciation Day and the Guns Across America. Two different initiatives. One was more of a grassroots, I think, thing that Eric got going. But they're both great. And so what if they're on the same day? I think the Gun Appreciation Day, and I've got links, you've seen links to it. Put links in this description about that too. But it was designed initially primarily to get to a gun range, a shooting range, get to a gun shop, get to a gun show on the 19th, wear your colors, wear your shooting outfit, carry a sign, ring the gun shops, ring the gun show, whatever. Kind of a demonstration of just loyalty, your enthusiasm for the sport, showing folks, your enjoyment of the shooting sports was, I think, the primary motivation of that. And just get out there. And then, of course, we've got the effort to demonstrate at the Capitol, the state capitals, in conjunction with that now. So a couple of things there, and it's all good. Doesn't matter who started what. We don't care. You can try to start something like that. It may go nowhere. Why have these gotten some traction? It's because you, me, and Bill down the street, and Harry up the street, and Mary Lou on the other side of the county, we see the need for it. We don't have to be we don't have to be slapped upside the head any harder. We see that this needs to be done, don't we? So we're going to show up at the state capitals. I'm going to be there. John's going to be there. We're going to be at the Nashville Capitol Saturday at noon, and so are you at your state capitol. Or I don't know, if you live in southern Kentucky, come on down to Tennessee. You're closer to Nashville maybe than you are Frankfort, Kentucky, for example. I don't know, just show up. We need numbers. We need people there with your signs. We need to present ourselves well too. Now I know we're kind of riled up, aren't we? We are, because we see our rights being about to be infringed upon. There's major attempts to infringe upon our rights, the Constitution. So I know we're all riled up. That's why we're showing up. That's why you're showing up. That's why I'm showing up. But we still need to be calm, cool, and composed. We need to, again, it's an opportunity to demonstrate why we're demonstrating, but to demonstrate the responsibility and sensibilities that we have, okay? So that's my caution, and maybe I go overboard with that in the other direction. But carry a sign, make sure your sign makes sense, make sure you've got things on it spelled correctly. You know what the media is going to do? The demonstration in Nashville, for example, it could be just marvelous, and everybody have great signs and everybody behave. If one person shows up and they look like they fell out of a dumpster somewhere and they've got a sign with, Constitution misspelled on it or something, or amendment misspelled, guess what's going to be front and foremost on the news that night? Don't have to tell you, do I? They're going to look for the raggediest looking person that they can find, and they will probably want to talk to a few folks. So you know who's going to show up on the news, the person who is definitely not well spoken and all that kind of thing. So come prepared with something to say, best you can, and try to dress decently. And that's just my encouragement. And of course, I know we're promoting firearms rights, and in most cases, you can probably carry if you want. Just make sure you are observing the local laws, the regulations. We don't need any bad publicity, do we? We will get some. There's no doubt about that, because that's what the media wants. They want bad publicity. They want to put us in a bad light. Most media does. It just depends on what part of the country you're in, what city maybe. But so we're up against that. Be aware of that. Also, there could be some infiltrators. There could be some, if you're on the left, you could put up some stupid sign and have it look like a first grader wrote it, and really look like you did fall out of a dumpster. There could be some of that. Watch for it. We'll out them if we encounter anybody like that. Because they definitely are not there could be some people who are not friends of the Second Amendment. Show up. And again, if you are a shooter, you're a gun owner, and you have the best intentions, and you show up, and you are not doing us any favors, but because of some of the things I just talked about, then you're not a friend of the Second Amendment. Keep in mind now what we're there for. Please. Now, we don't want to be elitist about this or anything. We're just regular people, and we hope everybody comes out. Come out of the hills, come out of the high rises, and wherever. We're all people, and we do want to demonstrate that shooters are from all walks of life, and nothing wrong with that. But just be aware that the media is going to look for the raggediest person. That's just what they're going to do. I don't even have to tell you that, do I? So anyway, we had these 2 dates are important. January 19th, this coming Saturday, you're going to be at your state capitol and with bells on, and you're going to be ready, to demonstrate and show people what we're all about. We want numbers. We need numbers there. It's not so much, in my mind, what we're screaming or what we're shouting, and if someone has a bullhorn, and the numbers, just being there, that's the big thing. Okay, I think having 5,000 people in front of your state capitol is going to be more important than having 200 or 300 that just are talking loudly or shouting, reading the Second Amendment loudly. I don't know, but we need numbers, and so get out there. This is a chance to actually do something to have an impact. Okay. Again, this is we thank Eric at moregunslesscrime.com for getting this thing kicked off, and for everybody to help promote it. And we want you there. You got to be there. If you and your wife were supposed to go antiquing on the 19th, guess what? You're not going antiquing. You're going to the state capitol. Okay. If you had a hot date that day, guess where your date is going to be? It's going to be at the state capitol. Okay? So show up. No excuses. You got to be there if at all possible. All right? And then, of course, the other thing you want to be making certain that you're doing is you are writing your congressmen, your senators every week. I don't know if you listen to Tom Gresham's podcast on that, but it's a simple plan. It's a good plan. You don't need Tom's plan to do it, of course, but it makes a lot of sense. Calling both senators and your congressman once a week, writing them and calling them once a week. You want to email, you want to call, you want to send a paper letter, actually write one out, that's good too. There's a delay on those usually, but that's okay, do that too. But once a week, we've got to be in their faces and their ears. They've got to be hearing from us, okay? Even if your senator, your congressman is anti-gun, that's okay. That avalanche that they're getting, it still has some impact. They would like to get reelected, and maybe they're thinking long term. Who knows? So keep that in mind. And again, most people you're not going to convince of anything. I think as Tom suggests, forget the long, letter and paragraphs explaining probably, why these guns are not dangerous necessarily. I'm not sure that logic is even helping that much at this point. It lots of times it's just wasted. They don't care. For one thing, the left, the people who hate guns, they not only don't want 30-round magazines, they don't want 20-round magazines, they don't want 10-round magazines, they don't want 5-round magazines when you get right down to it. They don't even want you with a bolt-action rifle, a lot of people. You hunters that think you're safe with a bolt-action rifle, I love bolt-action rifles. You think that you have nothing to fear? You know who they're coming for next. It's just a gradual thing. It's a slippery slope. They're going to get to you next. Maybe today, I don't know. The anti-gunners don't like guns at all. There's no magic number, as Tom Gresham always said. Well, what is the right number? 30 rounds you don't like? What's the right number? 22, 15, 7, 10, 12, 3? What's it going to be next year? No rounds, of course, is what they really want. So none of us is safe on this. So just keep that in mind, okay? Good things are happening. I'm impressed with what's going on. On the positive note, I've never seen people more active, and I've been involved in this for a long time, been fighting these wars for 30, 40, 50 years, and I've never seen people as motivated as they are right now. So in a lot of ways, I think the anti-gunners, the left, has, they might have helped our cause here. I hope it turns out to be the case, because people are really active, and I think they've learned who to contact, how to contact people, and how important it is. More importantly, I think everybody has learned, whoa, look what is happening. Look what is getting shoved at us for really no good reason. We all know that it's not going to help to have, do away with 15-round magazines. Anybody with common sense knows that's not the problem. And so I think the sleeping giant has been awakened. I really do. and we've got to make sure it stays awake, whatever happens in this episode. And we are going to determine that. It's you and me. It's everybody. It's like I say, it's Mary Lou, maybe Thelma Lou. It's your neighbor, my neighbor. It's everybody. We've got to show up and let politicians know. Again, forget about trying to use too much logic with them. Just let them know. Look, we don't want any more gun laws. There's over 20,000 gun laws. And where the most gun laws are, as we all know, that's where most of the crime is. So there's no correlation. We don't want any more gun laws. We don't want to be scapegoats. We don't want to be scapegoats for this crime because it's not us. It's not law-abiding citizens. Okay? It makes no sense. We're going to just make sure that you do not go back into office if you vote for any more restrictions on firearms. You're just going to be retired. That's the end of you. We're tired of gun-free zones. Gun-free zones do no good. Almost all of the mass shootings that have taken place in the last 2 or 3 years have been in gun-free zones. I mean, it's like 90%, 95% of them or whatever. We're tired of that. We don't want that. So just make those statements as Tom suggests and let it go at that. Or write whatever you like, but it just doesn't do a lot of good to use too much logic, I think. So anyway, keep that going. But the main thing is we got the dates, the 19th of January and the 8th of February. Put them on your calendar. Make sure you're at your state calendar, or state capital. Like I say, John and I are going to be in Nashville. Hope to see a lot of you there. You better not be sitting at home watching football or whatever's on TV or some reruns of a soap opera while there are people down there standing in front of the Capitol holding signs and representing the Constitution and the Second Amendment, okay? You're going to feel really bad when you see that on the news. I hope you feel really bad if you see that on the news. And I hope it's on the news, and if there's enough people there, it will be on the news. And you were sitting at home or you were at a movie or something, okay? So we want you there, the 19th, got to be there. And we're going to continue making shooting videos, like I say, that's what we do. And keep up the good work, everybody. I am so impressed. Everybody's spreading the word on YouTube, on the internet, the gun forums. Just keep the links going, keep sending links to me. I'll continue featuring links in some of the videos. I hope you're enjoying some of the videos I'm featuring because there's some people doing some good stuff and there's some really good points being made, better than I can do, really. And I'm just featuring those. We'll feature our own videos later. There's just some good stuff out there, and hopefully you're enjoying some of those. So anyway, see you on the 19th at your state capitol, okay? Be there. Life is good.